to hop up on here to make sure everybody's aware of what is going on right now. I am seized, obviously, by the Charlie Kirk assassination.
The door opens, and everything is already too late. An attendant steps inside the villa and finds Ashley still alive, barely breathing, suspended inside the wardrobe. Seconds matter here. Minutes matter. But the timeline around this moment doesn't feel right, because everything that led up to this happened too fast, too precise, too clean. And that's where the story starts to break. It begins like any other trip. Ashley and Joe arrive in Zanzibar. Luxury resort. Private villa. Number 25. Planned departure. April 10th, 2026. On paper, nothing stands out. No alerts, no warnings, no signs this would end in tragedy. But based on local reports, things went wrong immediately. Not gradually, instantly. Arguments, loud ones, heated ones, the kind that carry through walls. If we look at the timeline, there's no build-up phase, no calm before the storm. The storm was already there. And that raises the first red flag. Because people don't usually travel across the world just to fight from day one, unless something was already broken before they arrived. And then it escalates.
Handsome.
You look gorgeous. Are you fixing I got a little bacon. Babe, that's deep in there.
A neighbor in Villa 24 reportedly hears enough to call staff. Think about that. It wasn't just tension, it was disruption. Public enough to involve outsiders. That's when the resort steps in and makes a decision. Separate them. Ashley stays, Joe is moved. Villa 65, 8 to 10 minutes away. That sounds like a solution, but it creates something else. A distance, a window, a timeline. And that timeline becomes everything. Because based on leaked discussions, the arguments had a cause. Cheating, allegedly. Joe leaving the villa, coming back later. Ashley alone, again and again. Not confirmed officially, but repeated enough to raise eyebrows. And if that's true, this wasn't just conflict. It was emotional pressure, isolation, humiliation, layered on top of each other. And pressure like that doesn't just disappear. It builds, quietly, until something breaks. But then something else happens. Another argument.
Here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement.
This time at reception. Public. Visible. People watching. According to reports, someone interacts with Ashley. Joe reacts, but it doesn't stop there. Ashley reportedly calls him out, accuses him, right there, out loud. That's not a private issue anymore. That's exposure. And once something becomes public, it changes the dynamic completely. Because now, there's ego involved, reputation, control. And this is where things start shifting fast. Because according to someone close to Ashley, she wanted out. Not later. Not eventually. Now. She was scared. Not just upset. Scared. That detail matters. Because fear changes decisions. It speeds things up. It forces reactions. And when you combine fear with conflict and isolation, you get unpredictability. But here's where it gets even more precise. Around 7:30 p.m., an attendant makes his rounds. Routine. Normal. He stops at Villa 25. Ashley answers.
I understand where you're coming from.
No, and I know you're going to keep saying that I understand. Like, I know that.
No, I know.
And I know there's probably no magic string of words that I can...
She asks for a charger. Simple. Nothing unusual. He gives it to her. And she tells him something important. Come back in a few minutes. That detail seems small, but it's not, because it creates a countdown. But when we look closer, the timing shifts. It's not a few minutes. It's closer to 20. Why? No clear answer. He returns. Knocks. Silence. Lights off. And something feels off. That feeling matters. Because they had just spoken. Minutes earlier. Now, nothing. So he uses the emergency key. Steps inside. And everything changes. He finds her. Inside the wardrobe. Suspended. Still alive. But barely. The response is immediate. Alarms. Staff. Hospital. Transfer. Hope. For a moment. Then the next day. 3 p.m. She's gone. That's the official story. Straightforward.
See from behind me, this is a recreation of the tent where Charlie Kirk lost his life at Utah University.
Neat. But when people started analyzing it, it didn't stay neat for long. Because if we look at the timeline carefully, something doesn't sit right. Joe is in another villa, 8 to 10 minutes away. Ashley is alone. The attendant leaves, then returns, and discovers everything quickly. Almost perfectly. Too perfectly. Some believe this wasn't random, because the timeline removes possibility. It closes doors. It answers questions before they're even asked. And that's where suspicion starts. Now, here's the real question. Do you think this timeline just happened naturally? Or was it shaped to look this way? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're into deep analysis like this that you won't find in mainstream media, subscribe to Spotly. Because what comes next only makes this more complicated. Because locals are saying something important. Joe wasn't new to Zanzibar. Not even close. He knew the place, the system, possibly even the people. And that changes everything. Because familiarity creates comfort. And comfort creates access. And access creates opportunity. Then, another detail surfaces. Authorities reportedly questioned around 10 people. Staff, individuals connected to the resort, even a foreign friend of Joe. That's not small. That's not routine. That suggests layers, multiple angles, multiple possibilities. And when there are this many moving parts, the truth doesn't sit on the surface. It hides in the gaps. And then comes the silence. This is where things get uncomfortable. The autopsy, reportedly done, but not released. The body, not returned. The family, waiting, pushing, even involving US officials. That kind of delay raises questions. Because when answers are clear, they don't stay hidden. So what's taking so long? What's being checked? Or more importantly, what's being held back? And while that silence grows, people start digging into the past. Because patterns matter. History matters. There are reports about Joe's previous marriage. Details that don't prove anything, but don't help either. An ex-wife who reportedly struggled with the decision to marry him. A father who refused to walk her down the aisle. A relationship that ended during pregnancy. And allegations of aggressive behavior. Unconfirmed, but repeated. And when you place that next to what Ashley reportedly experienced, it creates a narrative. Not proof, but a pattern people can't ignore. Then comes the detail that changes everything: the ring. According to some reports, it wasn't in the villa. It was found in a rental car with alleged bloodstains. Unverified, but serious. Because if that detail holds any truth, it shifts the entire story. Why would the ring be somewhere else? What happened before the villa? What's missing from the timeline? Because officially, there was no forced entry, which means access wasn't a problem. Someone could enter, or was already inside. And that brings everything back to one point. This story splits in two. One version says this was a tragic outcome: emotional, personal, contained. The other version asks if the timeline is too clean, too controlled, too convenient. And right now, both versions exist at the same time. So what really happened inside that villa? And why does every answer seem to create a new question? Because sometimes the truth isn't hidden in the chaos. It's hidden in the parts that feel too perfect. And this timeline might be one of them.